Good morning, students. So we were discussing the chapter Nazism and the rise of Hitler. Until now, we have discussed the Hitler rise to power. In that we were discussing that by 1932 elections, Hitler got 37% of vote, which is the highest vote scored by the Nazi Party. And Nazi Party became the largest party by securing these many votes in 1932 elections. That is 37%. Now, after that we will today we will discuss the topic destruction of democracy, how now Hitler will destroy democracy in Germany. So let's see the points here. Now, destruction of democracy. Now, on 30th January 1933, President Hindenburg, he offered chancellorship to Hitler. So now the President Hindenburg, he offered the chancellorship to the Hitler, being he's having the highest vote, so he offered him this highest position in the cabinet. So after getting this power, Hitler started dismantling democracy in Germany. So now power is there in his hand. So he started deforming, destructing democracy in Germany. So how he started this? This all started with the mysterious fire in the German parliament. So the mysterious fire broke out in the German parliament, and after some years, when the investigation was done, then it was revealed there that the Nazi party was only responsible for this fire which broke out in the German parliament. Due to this, the Hitler issued fire decree on 28 February 1933. Just within the month only, he issued the fire decree. So we have discussed this thing, Article 48, which gives the power to impose emergency and rule by decree. So here he started to impose the decree, and he can impose emergency and he can rule by decree. He can make any law without the approval of the German parliament. Now, due to this imposition of the fire decree, it suspended all civic rights of the people. Now there is no freedom of speech, press and assembly. So now people can't speak against Hitler. Censorship was also imposed. No articles will be published against Hitler, whatever steps he is taking, and there is no right to assemble also. Side by side, he started persecution of the people, his arch enemies, and one of them were the communists. So whosoever arch enemies were there of the Hitler, he started sending them to the concentration camps. That is the place where people were isolated and detained without any process of law. And these concentration camps, very tough conditions were there, and it was surrounded by electrified barbed wires also there. And now the repression of the communists started, the rivals of the Nazi party. So after the mysterious fire broke out, he imposed a fire decree, and side by side he started sending the people, his enemies, to the concentration camps. Communists, Jews, Poles, Russians, blacks, gypsies, undesirable. So the one destination for all these undesirables, that is the concentration camps and the ghettos. Now on 3rd March 1933, Enabling Act was passed, and with the passing of this act, students, Hitler established dictatorship in Germany. So now Hitler can easily sideline the parliament and he can rule by decree according to his own will. Now he was ruling according to his own whims and fancies, and all political parties and trade unions were suspended and banned except the Nazi party. Only one party will be there, that is Nazi party. And now, how to control the people in the Nazi state? So Hitler, he set up the special security forces, and entire economy, media, army and judiciary, already they were under the state control. Now they have to control people also. So for that, special security forces were formed: Gestapo, the secret state police, SA, the stormtroopers, SS, the protection squads, SD, the security services, and the criminal forces. So apart from the regular policing, which were in the green uniform, all these policies were established, were formed in order to control the Nazi people. Now, in order to control the Nazi Germany, the people in the Nazi Germany. Now, extra constitutional powers were given to these forces. They can rule in whatever way they want to control the people. So, extra constitutional powers, and no legal action will be taken against them. Now, due to all this, Nazi state, the Nazi Germany became the most dreaded criminal state now. People were frightened there. A lot of terror was there. People, innocent people, they were tortured, they were arrested without any legal procedure. So this was happening in the Nazi state. After Hitler, he became the dictator. He destroyed the democracy in Germany. Now, how Hitler destroyed democracy in Germany? He suspended all the rights of the people by imposing the fire decree on 28th February 1933. He started the ill treatment of the communists and other people also. He established dictatorship by passing the Enabling Act in March 1933, and total control of the economy, media, judiciary, army was under the Hitler only. And in order to control the people, some security forces were set up, and only one party was allowed, one party state. It was one people, one empire, and one leader. So this is how Hitler destroyed democracy in Germany. Now after this, students, we have to discuss the reconstruction now. So after destroying democracy, he established dictatorship, and now he will start with the reconstruction of the economy, and politically also the reconstruction will start. That is, now we will see the economic recovery of the Germany under the finance minister Helmer Schast, and the foreign policy also of the Hitler. So now, students, the prestige and power comes with money only, but unfortunately Germany was not having any money. So now the responsibility of the economic recovery was given to the finance minister Helmer Schast. So Hitler assigned this huge responsibility to this person, and now we have to see what he had done. So being an economist, he aimed at full production and full employment, which will be created by a state funded work creation program. So now, full production, the industries, the factories will be producing at the full level, the maximum level, and they will be providing the full employment to the people through state funded work creation program. That is, the government will create the infrastructure, and they will generate the employment for the people. So this is how he designed the policy, that infrastructure creation will be there, and people will also get the jobs in the process, and wages also they will get. So the improvement will be there, and economy will also started moving. So in order to create the infrastructure, they started certain projects like construction of the super highways, so that more and more mobility is there of the goods and the people, plus the people's car, Volkswagen. So people's car, that is the inexpensive car, mass production will be there, because already they have made a policy that full production will be there and full employment will be generated. So full production of luxury cars they can't do, so the least expensive cars at the mass scale will be produced. So this was the economic policy, this was the economic design with which Helmer Schast came out, and the results were also coming out of this policy. People got the employment also, infrastructure also being generated. Now let's see the political reconstruction. What kind of foreign policy Hitler was having with other nations? So obviously, what kind of principles, set of beliefs he was having towards other nation, what kind of now relations he wanted to establish with other nations, that will be governed by Hitler's foreign policy. So Hitler was having very quick successes with respect to his foreign policy, and in 1933, he pulled Germany out of the League of the Nations. The moment he established the dictatorship, he pulled Germany out of League of the Nations. So this was the organization which was set up after the First World War for international peace and cooperation. So Hitler now decided, and he pulled that Germany out of League of Nations, that I will not work under pressure of any organization. After this, now in 1936, again Hitler reoccupied the Rhineland, which was captured by the Allies under the Treaty of Versailles. And in 1938, he integrated Austria with Germany under the slogan, one people, one empire, and one leader. German people, German empire, and the Hitler, one leader. Under this policy, under this slogan, he integrated Austria with Germany. And then Sudetenland also, the German speaking population was living in Sudetenland, that from Czechoslovakia, that also included in Germany. So very quick successes he was having with respect to his foreign policy, and allies were also just mute spectators. They were also not saying anything to the Hitler. He was doing all these things because the allies also, they were giving unspoken support to the Hitler, because till now they were thinking this only, that the Versailles verdict was very harsh for the Germany. And in 1939, now Hitler invaded Poland. Hitler invaded Poland in 1939 under the policy of Lebensraum, that is the living space. Now more territories has to be acquired. So this was the policy of the Hitler, that in order to come out of the economic crisis, war is the only solution, which was very wrong notion which was adopted by Hitler, that only way to come out of the war, to come out of the economic crisis, is war only. So keeping this in mind, he invaded Poland in 1939, and Poland became the laboratory for his experiments. And France and England already, they had a talk with Poland, that if Germany will show any aggression towards Poland, they will definitely help the Poland. So similarly, as promised, England and France also started war against Germany. So this was the start of the Second World War. By 1940, Hitler was at the peak of his power. He was at the pinnacle of his power. And 1940, the tripartite pact was also signed between Germany, Italy, and Japan. So this gave more confidence and more power to the Hitler. His power also increased with this agreement, which was signed with Italy and Japan also. So now, in order to acquire more territories and more food supplies for the German people, he invaded or attacked Soviet Union in 1941, and this was the economic blunder. This was the worst historical blunder as seen by the historians, which the Hitler committed in 1941, attacking the Soviet Union. And now the moment they attacked, Germany attacked the Soviet Union from the west, Britain also started the aerial bombardments, aerial bombing against the Germany. So Germany now was facing the danger from both the sides. From the western side, Britain was doing the bombing, aerial bombing, and from the eastern side, the Red Soviet Army was also giving a tough fight to the Germany. And Germany lost very badly in the Second World War, and US by this time don't want to enter into the Second World War, but Japan continuously poking the US to enter. And when Japan attacked the Pearl Harbor base of USA was not left with any option, but they have to retaliate, and they enter the Second World War, and they dropped. The Second World War came to an end by dropping the atomic bombs at Hiroshima and Nagasaki by USA. And with this, the Second World War comes to an end, and Hitler already committed suicide in his Berlin bunker in the end of April 1945. And by May, the Second World War comes to an end. So this was the downfall of the Hitler, which we have discussed.